Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how early this was going to be for you. Even when you said it, it dawned on me later.
Oh, no, it's all good. My son actually got up 40 minutes ago, so great alarm clock. I was all set. We'll see how many folks show up today. I was kind of anticipating a lot of folks showing up because it's so early in the cohort. You know, when we got down to the very end, it was you and Kyle and a handful of other people that had the
Yeah, who
energy
refused not to, who
yeah,
refused not show up.
right.
Hopefully they will. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much for them. They're doing good though. I really like their portfolios.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that they're all kind of derived from the same thing, but it's so interesting to see the little tweaks people have put on.
Yeah, ours were too, but theirs are so much advanced. I was like, I asked Mess, I was like, you didn't do this for us? He was like, that's what making improvements is.
Oh man, maybe it's just gonna be you and me.
No, it's only 9:01. I'll be right back. My device is dying. Let me grab my battery.
Cool.
Hi, Shantina.
Good
Good morning, everyone.
morning.
Good morning. Can I ask a quick question in
Yes,
general?
please.
So with the things that we were learning this week, are there jobs that are based on utilizing those tools, or are those tools generally utilized to assist with other positions or jobs that people might have?
That's a good question. That's in some sense that's entirely what my job is, which is to help assist other software developers. So if you enjoy helping software devs and don't necessarily want to be a software dev yourself, yeah, come do what I do. Come join DevOps.
And so like what might be like an assignment or things that you might tackle in your day, would you say?
Yeah, so at startups, specifically at like a startup, one issue that you might have to tackle is, okay, how are we going to get code off of software developers' laptops and deployed? So like at a startup, maybe they're launching a product for the first time and they have no idea where they're going to send their code, how developers, what the workflow looks like for developers. So go and design that workflow.
Okay.
In a sense, we did that here in class. You know, we all figured out how to deploy to GitHub Pages. So yeah, it's very realistic depiction of what being in DevOps is like.
Okay. Okay. And so I was thinking about that. Like, even if you had discussed it at the beginning, you know, sometimes you have to actually do it before you can kind of apply it to like how it would fit, you know, in a role or what have you. So
Mhm.
I apologize if you had to revisit and repeat
And
exactly
no,
before.
yeah, you know, it's the same struggle with everything that gets taught in this cohort. You know, you don't want to talk theoretically for too long at the beginning. You kind of want to get into the practical application of stuff, and then, you know, I'm an intuitive learner. I
Oh,
need
yeah.
somebody to give me something to do to understand it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. So thank you. Though that was, you were very patient. You and Latonia were very patient this week, and we appreciate that. And Max has been too. Everybody's been patient, but it's just nice to, I just wanted to make sure I said that you guys were very patient to make sure that we were all up to par, you know, understood what was going on, why we were doing things. So I just want to say thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Latonia.
Thanks, Latonia.
So this is for all of you. We had a couple deep dive questions. We were going to take a look at Wayne's HTOP issue with Brew. That was going to be one kind of deep dive. If anybody else has some deployment deep dive questions, this is your time. Alternatively, I can go off and talk about some topic. I had been kicking around the idea of doing more terminal practice because it seemed like that could be useful for some folks. That's kind of the plan for today. We don't have to stick around for too long if there's not a lot of questions or interest. So. Right off the bat, does anybody have a specific topic or question that's burning on their mind that we should go through this morning? Nothing's off limits.
I'm still setting up. Give me a second or two.
Okay.
I was curious with my domain when why I was unable to add the subdomain of www.
Yeah.
Is there a known explanation?
Yeah, so let me share my screen because I don't have the exact answer, but I know the words to use to go and look it up. Also, does everybody know that it takes around 10 minutes to absorb caffeine through the lining in your stomach? And if you're drinking caffeine, it doesn't just instantly hit you. It takes about 10 minutes, and then the max peak is about 20 to 30 minutes in.
I didn't know that.
No,
Well,
good to know.
Now you know.
I can time my coffee intake now.
Has anybody heard of a cappuccino nap before?
But
So
what's
it's
the
where a cappuccino nap is where you quickly drink a cappuccino and then take a 20-minute nap, and the caffeine, as it gets absorbed, wakes you back up naturally.
No, I never heard of it. I did stop drinking coffee because I would get all energized and be almost jittery for about 30 minutes, and then I'd crash and I'd be more tired than I was before I drank the coffee. So I wonder if that was like, that's kind of the same thing.
So the answer that I have right now is let's see, this one last one. Solution, make sure you put www in your GitHub repository settings. Oh, okay. So Doug, it looks like if you put this in there, that might force it to issue an SSL certificate that includes the www part.
And then will it still work without the www?
I think so. Maybe we could you give it a shot and
Yes, I'll do that right now.
okay. While you're doing that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what GitHub Pages is doing. So if you're, I'm sure most people are using Chrome. It's the same thing in Chrome. I'm just in Firefox. If you click up in the top and you visit a website that is secured with SSL, in fact, let me just visit Doug's website. This will work for any of the GitHub Pages websites that you all have created. But if you click on the lock, or even on my computer, if I hover over the lock, can you guys see that it says it's verified by Let's Encrypt?
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone heard of Let's Encrypt before?
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
So there are websites that will issue you an SSL certificate or a TLS certificate for free. This is why I always discourage people to buy TLS certificates when they go and get a domain name, because when you go and buy a domain name and it offers to include an SSL certificate for like $7.99, that's a convenience thing. It's not really because you need them to provide you with one. You can get one yourself. If we go and look at the GitHub pages where we were at before, when we were linking up our GitHub pages with our domain name, if we go into settings and look at pages, this custom domain box and the enforce HTTPS, when you click on that enforce HTTPS, it's going to Let's Encrypt, the website Let's Encrypt, and issuing you a certificate for whatever you type in for your domain. So that's why it takes, a couple minutes when you go and set a custom domain. That's why it takes a couple minutes for it to issue, and for that lock to go from having the red line, the red cross through it, to actually being green and being valid. Mhm. And when you go and visit a website, you can click in and check out the certificate that's issued. So this one's issued by Let's Encrypt. We can click on more information and actually view the certificate. And right here is the interesting part. So the subject alt names and the common name for the certificate, if it doesn't include a subdomain, then the certificate isn't valid for that address. So like www is not covered by this certificate, because we could see that all this certificate covers is exactly dougrusin.com. Contrast that with another certificate. So we look at one of my certificates for one of my websites. Go and click on here. View the certificate. So this is one of the certificates that I've created for one of my websites. And the important part here is, notice the asterisk, the wildcard. So you can get SSL certificates issued that will also work for any subdomains that you want. So Doug, for example, if GitHub Pages had issued you a wildcard SSL certificate, then your www would work. Any domain that, any subdomain for your domain would have also been covered by the SSL certificate. The challenge is how do we get GitHub Pages to issue us that certificate? Any questions? It's kind of a deep dive on how these certificates get generated. You could also go and visit the Let's Encrypt website. So let'sencrypt.com and learn more. There's a whole bunch of documentation about the Let's Encrypt program. There's Let's Encrypt. There's also forget what the other one is called. Oh, Zero SSL. Zero SSL is also another provider that will issue you free SSL certificates. At this point, we're using GitHub Pages to issue those certificates, so you probably don't need to go and do this. We might talk about this more again the next DevOps module when you go and deploy your applications, because your applications also will need an SSL certificate. Okay. Doug, did you make that change? We go to www.
I did, but I've got it's showing an error. It
Do you want to
says,
share your screen?
yeah.
Is improperly configured. So we've seen this before. Oh, and you're using the Google. You're using Google for your DNS, right? Yep. Okay.
Yes.
And you have an A record for W. Okay. So if we go back to GitHub Pages, I wonder if you uncheck the enforce HTTPS box and then give it a second
Should I hit
and
check again?
recheck the enforce HTTPS box.
Oh, reforce it. Recheck
Yep.
it.
Because I think that is actually kicking off the process of going and acquiring the cert. So I'm wondering if that will do something. But we honestly we won't know until a little bit later when GitHub is finished doing its thing.
It says your site is published at www.dougrusin, that it's got the error down here.
Yeah, if I visit it without HTTP, it's good. Now, if I visit it with HTTPS, it's also good on my machine. I'm gonna do a hard refresh and check it. It looks good on my end. Is it good on yours? Oh, wow. Here, let me share my screen really quick. So check this out. I'm looking at the certificate for your website, and the common name is www. It has issued you an SSL certificate for both. So dougrusin.com and www.dougrusin.
Oh,
So
that's
you're covered.
great.
Yeah, you're covered on both.
So now the question is the Douglas Rusin. Do I have to do something to get that to work? So that's not working with www.
Okay.
So I guess I just need to do the same thing with that, right? On the Google Pages, add www.
Oh yeah, right.
Because
right.
I had set up Douglas Rusin to point to another GitHub Pages and then just put a redirect on that.
Yep. The same thing. And I think the magic there is unchecking the enforce HTTPS and then rechecking it so that it causes an SSL certificate to get reissued.
Okay.
Great find. I didn't realize we could force GitHub Pages to give us a certificate for a subdomain. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm not 100% clear on exactly what happened there, but I'm glad it's working.
Yeah, that looks great. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Other folks?
I would like to go.
Yes, please.
Last class I missed the Brew part and how to download the Brew part.
Oh yeah. So do you want to share your screen really quick and we'll download Brew?
Oh yeah, I don't have anything up besides you, but I can share.
Well, all you need is a terminal. So I'll paste the instructions you need into Zoom chat. So if you open up a terminal.
How do I open up the terminal?
There's command space to get that spotlight and then terminal. Perfect. Is it just a cursor floating in the middle of the screen? Is that all it
I
is?
think oh, I'm sorry. I changed the colors. You know, I had to be extra and I was trying. It's in there, but you can't tell. I think if I do it again,
You
it
made
automatically
black?
changes the color every time.
oh
I can't keep the same screen for a long time. So
wait. So every time you open terminal, it changes your font color.
yeah, in the background. Yeah, I think it should be another one. I don't know. Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's black, sometimes it's any color.
Hold on, Command Q. Do a Command Q to quit out of terminal. Open up terminal again. I have to see this.
Let's hope it does it. It does it when it wants to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you also using Z Shell?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay. Who did this to you?
Larry.
Okay. Larry, are you
He
using
showed me
Z
how to
Shell?
do it because he did his a different color, but I don't know how mine keep changing colors.
Yeah, because mine don't change like that. So.
Following behind Larry.
Okay. All right. So in the terminal, look in Zoom chat. Do you see the bin bash command that I pasted in there? So the big long one-liner bin bash -c curl.
Yep. Oh, Command V. You want me to put that in the
So click into the terminal and then paste that and hit enter. We need the whole. So hit Control C to cancel.
Control C.
Yep.
And then I gotta find his Zoom. Command C. Command V. Oh, Command V, right? Yeah. Okay. Can you see that? It's in there. Just enter. Oh, he's gone. Hey, can you turn that down, please?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and hit enter.
Hey, get that shirt.
Say what?
So how'd you get that shirt?
From my wife. She works at GitLab.
Oh yeah, you did say that. Okay. All
You're
right,
all
press
set.
enter.
Go ahead.
Enter.
Yep. And then type in your Mac password and hit enter.
How do I know if it's typing?
So it is. It's just not showing us on screen because then we could guess it how long your password is and all of that.
Okay.
So it is. Just enter it in there. Perfect. Hit enter.
Enter again.
Now this is going to install.
Okay. Was there another one?
Yeah, here in a second, it's going to give you some more instructions. So we'll just wait for 1 minute. And then Wayne, I think what we should do for you is we should just reinstall Brew. I have no idea why we weren't able to install HTOP.
Hey, is there anything special we have to do to use a OMZ shell?
No, if you follow the instructions on the website, that should be it.
Okay, I see you moving. So how's everybody's weekend so far?
Was that a web scraper that you made to find secret words in our HTML? That was?
It was. It was written in Python. Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested in that because I might have to do that for my project.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to share that with you. Once we get Nicole set up, I'm going to hop over and work with Wayne. Actually, Wayne, let me paste a command into Zoom chat for you to run in a terminal. This should uninstall Brew. So if you go ahead and run that in your terminal.
Sounds fun. Oh, the colors. I'm not even sure how I did that. That was like the first week. I was changing colors and stuff.
If you go to preferences and terminal,
Oh yeah, at the
should
top.
allow you to change it. Yeah. So go to
Edit.
terminal. Well, no, click on terminal
Oh,
and then look for preferences, or you can push Command and K along in the comma.
yeah, and then solid color. You can get all different colors. But I just
Yeah.
pick solid colors, and then it just changes.
I think it's when a new window opens or something.
Oh, so solid colors picks from a new color theme every time.
Mhm. But there's a whole bunch of
Fancy.
colors.
So fancy.
Yeah, 52%. Sorry, everybody. Didn't
I
realize.
did that.
Didn't take forever.
Well, yeah, it worked. It was able to uninstall.
Except the following few files, they said like 3 folders.
Okay. Then go ahead and run that install command. I'll paste it again in Zoom chat. So to reinstall Brew. Latonia, yes, there is a command to look at the most recent terminal commands that you've run. I'm going to take over sharing for a second while you finish that up.
Okay, no problem.
So if you're in a close some of this. If you're in a terminal and you're like, what was it? How did I use that command that I used a while ago? You can press up and it will go through the most recent commands that you've used. That's kind of the quickest way, is pressing up. But another command is called history. And if you type history and hit enter, it will print out all of the commands that you've used. So I've typed 10,719 commands into my terminal. I can go back and look at all of the things that I've typed in the terminal. So use the command history, and then you could also use history in combination with other searching tools. Like, we didn't really cover this in class, but if you use the pipe symbol and the word grep and then pass it a search term, like let's see, all the SSH commands that I've made. So notice how it's highlighted all the SSH usages that I've done. So you can search history using this pipe symbol and grep, and then passing it what you're looking for. Maybe I want to find all my usages of open. So there's that. Or maybe I want to look at all my usages of Git. So I could search my history for that.
Thank you. That was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And what did you hit to clear the terminal screen?
The word clear.
Does it delete it or does it just clear the screen?
It just clears it. If you scroll back up, it will be there.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch the videos over because I missed a lot.
Well, thankfully, a lot of the stuff you're not going to need, and I think Max is going to highlight some of the stuff as you hit it. I kind of showed a bunch of this stuff just to give a little bit of exposure to it, but I honestly think that working in the terminal is going to come a lot when you start working more with JavaScript and programming languages.
Okay. This is done downloading.
All right. You want to share your screen again?
Yeah. Oh,
all right. There you go. It just finished. So just so you know, one way to tell that the command has finished is if you're back at this prompt.
Installation successful.
And then scroll down to the next steps. So there's two commands there. There's an echo eval and then an eval command. So see the run these two commands in your terminal step.
Yep.
So copy this whole line right here. Yep.
With profile in it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, the whole thing.
No, so up to the profile. So that's just one line right there.
Okay.
Hit Control C to cancel what you just did.
I
there you
didn't do anything. Okay.
And
Let's
just
see.
copy all of this.
Command C. Command V.
Perfect.
Enter.
And then the second command.
This one.
Mhm.
Command C. Command V. Enter.
Perfect. All right, now just say brew.
You said right through?
Type in, yep, right through and hit enter. There you go. So you have it installed.
Thank you. And what am I
Yeah,
supposed
you're
to do with it?
So we went through a couple slides. If you check those out, there's some tools that you can install with Brew. But the first one to try installing is Brew install. So say in the terminal, Brew install, Brew space install, lowercase b. You need to, yep, exactly. A little funky working in the terminal. Okay, Brew. So go back, press up to get to the last command. So it's Brew install.
Oh. I'm lost.
To go
Oh.
back down, go all the way down. Press up on the keyboard. So it's Brew install HTOP. So space and then HTOP. Enter. So this is in effect going to the internet, finding the program HTOP, downloading it and installing it. So now say HTOP, and you have the HTOP program installed. HTOP and hit enter.
Enter.
There we go. So this is what we talked about in class. This is just showing you an activity monitor, but in your terminal. Up in the top, you can see all the cores on your computer, plus your memory usage.
Oh, so
and
I
all the programs.
practically use it all up.
To get out of this, just press Q. And then if you want to get back into it, run HTOP again.
Okay. But I'm done with this part, right?
Yes. Yep. You're all
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wayne, were you able to reinstall successfully?
Think so. Yeah.
Did Brew install HTOP work this time?
I'm gonna try that now. Brew. It's downloading.
Oh, cool. Okay. So you should be all squared away then to use Brew. Right.
So HTOP requires root privileges to correctly display all running processes. So you will need to run sudo HTOP.
Yeah, to see all the processes, including everything running as super user, yes, you would need to run with sudo. But to just see all the processes that belong to you, you can just say HTOP. So if you type HTOP and hit enter, you should get that screen that we saw before. Nicole was sharing.
Yeah, it does comes up.
Okay, and then to get out, you can press Q. To get back in, you can type HTOP, so on and so forth.
I missed that part. What is a sudo?
So you're gonna run into this later, but sudo allows you to install things with what's called super user or root permissions. And that just, it's kind of like, if anybody's used Windows, you know when the Windows VAC comes up and it asks you like, are you sure you want to do this? You know, and it grays everything else out. It's kind of the same thing. When you use sudo, you're escalating to using root or super user permissions to install something. You typically don't want to install things with sudo unless you know what you're doing, but sometimes you have to enter your password to do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I was going to show that script really quick for Larry. Talk about
You
that.
know, yeah, you can do that. I'm not sure how much. Yeah. Yeah, do it.
All right. But before I do, I just want to show this other terminal command that some folks might find useful. If you open VS Code, and let's see, where is it?
I definitely probably missed this, but what is this that you're in code?
VS Code.
Oh, what's the back one with all the colors in it?
Oh, this is just my terminal.
Oh, okay. How do you get your terminal colorful?
Using Oh My Z Shell. It's also in the slides. All right, so here I just wanted to show this really quick. If you go into VS Code and hit Command Shift P, there's this command right here. So shell command, install code command in path. And I just find this really useful in the terminal. If you go into VS Code and you type Command Shift P, or open up the command palette. So go to View and hit Command Palette. And you click this install code command. What that lets you do is it lets you go into your terminal. And from wherever you are, you can use the command code and then pass it the name of a file. So I'm going to use that Python program that I was running. I'm going to pass it to the command code, and it will open it up in VS Code for you. It's kind of a shortcut for opening files in VS Code using the terminal. It's, again, to get access to this command, the code word, to install that, you would go into VS Code and then Command Shift P, and then this install code command in path.
And you have to have a folder already open for that?
No, you don't. You can just go into the terminal, use the command code, and then enter the file name, and it will open it up automatically. In fact, I'll close out completely out of VS Code and then run it again. And it will open VS Code and it will open the file.
So from VS Code, you hit Command Shift P.
Yep, it should open a little window. And if you start typing in shell command, there should be this shell command, install code command, and path. Do you see that?
Do I need to have an editing window open?
Nope. I think you could do it from anywhere if you hit Command Shift P anywhere in VS Code.
Yeah, it's giving me the
ding.
Yeah, the little error.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yes.
Can you say what I'm supposed to type in the terminal again?
So first you have to go into VS Code. So open up.
Which
VS
screen
Code.
am I sharing?
I'm seeing a terminal and then some recursive.
Yes. Okay, so I'm in code.
Okay. Can you bring over VS Code so we could see it on the screen?
I don't have anything open.
Oh, yeah. Click new text file. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant. Did I need to have an editing window open?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta have like some VS Code open on your screen. Yep, and then type in command, and then see that shell command, install code command and path right below you. Yep, click on that. Hit OK. Yep. And then enter your Mac password. Perfect. Okay, now you have access to the code command in your terminals. So if you go, if you go to a terminal and you say code, and then you can even just do code dot, and that will open wherever you are, folders and everything in VS Code. So now see, you've got access to everything from your home folder.
Okay, thank you. That's
Yeah,
kind
you're
of
welcome.
cool.
Okay, just one more time. Can you say it's command what? Like I seen he had the little like thing, like a little arrow.
Let me share my screen. Once you're in VS Code, once you have a window for VS Code open,
Mhm. Command.
it is Command Shift P to open that little window, and then
Key?
type P, the letter P.
Oh, P. Command Shift P. And then
Start typing in shell command or command or something.
code. Got it.
Once you've run that, you can use code in the terminal.
Okay. And then it has to be that is oh yeah, you already said that. Okay, got it. Code. Enter. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Larry.
Yes.
So I am here. Would you like to see the script real quick?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Python code. And I guess the most important bit is there's a library in Python called requests that allows you to make HTTP requests. So effectively allows you to go out to the internet and scrape websites. So all this script does is I have a list of each of the different repos that people made in class. So I added everybody into this list. And then I wrote a simple loop. So the program was going to loop forever because true, next week, some of these concepts, I hope Max will cover, like how to do for loops and while loops. But
I do understand this part of it, like for loops and while loops and stuff.
yeah, I don't want to steal Max's thunder because that's kind of the fun, I think, of next week. But essentially, while true just means forever because while true is always going to be true. If we had switched this to while false, this loop would never have run. So while true just means that forever until the computer crashes or until the process is killed, just continually do this. And so we're always going to be running this loop. And then what I'm saying is that for each of these repos, so for each one of the repos that you guys built last week, what we do is we go out to the internet. So we make a GET request. This will also get covered later, but we make a request to the internet and we fetch the index.html. So remember, everybody had an index.html in their repo.
Yeah.
And so we go out to the internet. This command right here is the magic. So it actually goes out to the internet and then it stores the result into a box called response. And then what I do is all I do is I check to see if there is this word. So whatever the needle is, I go and check to see if that is in the box response. So what we went out to the internet to go and find, I'm checking to see if the text, whatever the magic word was in there. And
So
then go ahead.
That request .get, that's getting the whole index.html page.
Exactly. Yeah. And I I can actually show you that. If we go into a terminal and I open up Python and I import the requests library, I can do a request.get google.com if I store that in a box called response. Oops, yep, I meant to do HTTPS. Right, and if I look at response.text, you can see this is all of the JavaScript. So, or sorry, this is all the HTML. So notice how it starts with the HTML tag that you guys saw in class.
Mhm.
So this request.get essentially acts like a browser. It goes to the web page, downloads all of the data, and then you can store that inside of a variable and use it for whatever.
Okay, I see use that text. Are there other properties?
Yeah, yep, there are. So if I do Python 3 import request again, where this gets kind of interesting is if you're working with APIs. So does anybody have a JSON API example? Somebody has to have a JSON API.
Could you
What
grab
about the
something quick?
one?
Oh, go ahead.
What if, I was gonna say, remember the guy said, wow?
Yeah, we
And,
could do a Owen Wilson WoW API. Here we go. Okay. So if we use one of these APIs, we can do a request.get, pass it in whatever the API URL is. Let's store that in a box called response. So yeah, there's response.text. There's also response.json, which will return JSON, which I'm getting so ahead of where you guys are and stealing so many people's thunder. I think Ryan's going to cover, Ryan Goss is going to cover some of this, but.
Hey, Nate, I
Okay.
have a question along the same lines. I think it might be the same question Larry just asked, but the needle, how advanced could that be? Or how, like, you just had the one word each time for the needle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wrote this in like 5 minutes, so it's not very good code. But this is a shorthand ternary. Have you seen, Latonia, have you seen this in Python? A shorthand ternary in Python?
Not in Python. I've seen ternary in JavaScript.
Right. So this is the same concept, but in Python, and this can be expanded to is found equals not found if needle in response dot text dot lower. So meaning we found it, then we would set this. So that's the same thing as the code that I had written before. It's just more dense. But to answer your question, could we do something more complex with the needle? Absolutely. The check that I'm doing right here is simply needle in response text dot lower. So if somebody did an uppercase P in their page, that's what the dot lower was for, was to move everything to lowercase, just so I could match it. But needle in Python is really basic, right? It's just looking to see if the text is in the string, or sorry, the string is in another string. If you wanted to get more advanced, you could do things like regex or regex, special characters, that whole nonsense.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I think if anybody's interested in Python, I'm happy to talk. I love Python, but the language I think that Max is going to be covering the cohort is going to be JavaScript. So it's going to look a little different than this.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like 100 days of code with Python now. So yeah.
And then I saw Doug, you've got Recursion pulled up. You're looking at some heavy stuff.
Yeah, actually, that was from my one-on-one with Max. I was asking him about it, and that was the example that he sent me.
Wow. Programs calling programs.
Yeah,
That's-
that made my head implode. I couldn't, it's so hard to follow.
I
I
definitely
actually-
want to learn Python though. So
But
I had
you,
a
I raised my hand first.
I just wanted to say I had a student ask me to explain recursion to him, and I explained recursion to him, but I always give the caveat every time I explain it that, you know, I've been programming for over a decade. I've never once walked into a situation where I've been like, oh, recursion, this is a great solution for a problem. I've never ever had that happen. It's always been recursion's always been thrown around in interviews when people want to see, you know, see something fancy. I've never ever seen it as a good technical solution ever. It's so complicated. So go ahead, Christy.
Free Code Camp has Python. Would you recommend that?
If your workload allows it, I don't understand how you guys have the energy to be doing all of the side learning on top of this cohort.
I think we knew we needed to commit 24 weeks to this. So I think that the 24 weeks commitment just means like you live, eat, sleep, breathe this stuff. So
I'd also give just a little bit of patience, because next week you're going to dig into a real programming language. Like, you could live, sleep, and breathe JavaScript here in less than, you know, 72
oh, right.
hours.
I mean, yes, we're going to do JavaScript. So I would not try to jump ahead and do Python. But after, like, going forward, do you think that the Python that's on Free Code Camp is a good way to learn it?
Yeah, I love Free Code Camp. I love the like checklist style, where as you complete things, it ticks it off. I think Free Code Camp is excellent. So yeah, if you want to learn more about Python, by all means, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe mid-September-ish, not right now. But yeah, I just wondered what your thoughts were on that one. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask Latonia though, based off of your experience, because I know you were also doing something similar where you wanted to reach for another language. What's your recommendation?
I actually probably would have waited another 6 months and just focused more on JavaScript, because what I did was I did the cohort, and then literally the next week I started my Python cohort. And while I did wonderful in Python, like I literally found myself tutoring other folks, which I never thought that would happen. It was the JavaScript that put me in that position. I also like lost a lot of my JavaScript knowledge and had to double back. Like you can ask Max. I was like so confused on stuff. But then once I like warmed up, it was coming back to me. But still, I think doing it, like it almost felt midstream for me. I would have like focused more, because now I really want JavaScript to be my dominant language. So like for me personally, that's just how it was. And I came in with no prior knowledge. Like maybe if folks are coming in with some prior knowledge, like some of the folks here seem more advanced, they can handle it better. But for me, I would have stuck to it more. Because I did a lot. Like I've done a lot of coding since leaving CIC. So I just would have been more consistent up front and then pulled it in later.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely recommend doing it. I mean, Python is a really good language to know, especially in our time, because data is just such a thing, and it would be such a great resource for it. So I'm not discouraging anyone. I'm just saying, like, I would just focus a little longer and then pull it in.
I want to know more about your tutoring. What's your rates?
So here's the thing. I was trying to get Nate to tutor me because he tutors Python, and he wouldn't. He was like, I'm not going to tutor you on your curriculum, but he made the right decision.
I definitely did not say no.
He didn't say no. He said, focus on your curriculum. But I wanted someone like I knew, because they were just such great instructors, Nate, Ryan, Max. And, you know, it worked out. It was definitely a good experience. But yeah, we could talk about it. I mean, I would have to get Nate to tutor me, and then I could tutor you. That's how it would have to happen.
But before I before I
Oh, not
ask,
Python. I didn't mean Python. I just meant tutoring as a whole, like even currently, like since
Oh,
you did. I
can I
meant
share a
tutoring
story?
overall.
Someone reached out to me yesterday and she's like, I need help with JavaScript and it's algorithms. And I was able to help her like start to finish. Do you know how amazing it felt? Because like when you're coding on your own, you're like, oh, I got this, I'm awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then when somebody pushes you to a test, you're like, oh, like I don't know anything. But then when I met with her and was able to get her from A to B and even suggest other stuff that was more like efficient and explain like why we're using this file system instead of like it felt so amazing. So I'm all about tutoring. You just have to be like beginner.
Larry,
Thank
you have a question?
I was gonna tell Latonia when she gets some time, I would like to speak with her about the program that she's in now. I mean, I did sign up for the apprenticeship through careers. CE Center State, but I'll be interested in that underdog development project.
Well, we should do that soon because their application is actually open now. So if you want to get in before
I
the
have a question.
deadline, we should talk like really soon. But yeah, I'm happy to help anyone the way I can. But just know I still consider myself a newbie. I put a lot of effort in, but I do still reach out. Like Nate knows, he had to help me with a deploy not long ago. And it should have taken us 20 minutes. It took us an hour and a half. And Nate was so like relaxed about it. He was like, no big deal. Like, we got through it, but it was like, I felt so horrible because it wasn't supposed to take that long. So, but yeah, we can definitely connect. You could just DM me on Slack, anyone who's interested. Okay.
Okay, I would definitely do that. Thank you.
I have another question about this internship. Like the application is open. Where are we getting that?
Max sent it in I think in our student channel. It's 2 of them in there. And then I had a question really for Larry. How come you're gonna take this apprenticeship when it's the same curriculum?
I don't know. Well, it's paid. That's one. 2, I didn't know it was the same curriculum. I didn't know it was just focused on web development. I thought it was focused on programming as well. So, besides web development program.
Okay.
So,
Let me know how I go.
I'm just trying to sign up for something that I'm interested in. But if I get into the Python one, that would be awesome. So,
Yeah.
fill that out, get the ball rolling.
All right. Thank you. Okay.
I do want to throw out there talking about trying to pick up another language. You're going to get that itch scratched starting next week with respect to learning, diving deep into a programming language. Like I know Max is going to do a fantastic job with laying down the fundamentals for working with JavaScript. And I just wanted to piggy off of Tony. Like I tried last cohort to discourage students from picking up another language midstream just because if you go really deep with JavaScript, so much of JavaScript will translate over to Python or any other language. Like, if you go deep in one language and you get really good at it and the peculiar, whatever that word is, all of the intricacies of a language, and you go really deep with it, you'll just notice that it translates really well to other languages, and picking up other languages really won't be too challenging. The problem I've seen is students go a little deep into a language, and then they try to go a little deep into another language because they think that it's it's a requirement to know all these different languages, when it becomes this jack of all trades sort of thing, where you just don't get deep enough to really see to get the full picture. So I would just practice patience and maybe not try to reach for that second language.
Can I add to that, Nate? I told you all how we have rigorous peer programming with our mentors through the program, Project Underdog. None of my mentors are JavaScript mentors, but you would never know it. They are so, like, the languages that they're in, they are so proficient that they they've never had an issue helping me with JavaScript refactoring, like you would never know. That's just how good they are at their language, and it translates for them. They can pick it
Yeah.
up. They just know the patterns or whatever. I honestly think it's just like some kind of magic that they do, because I'm not to that level yet, but I did want to just throw that out there because that's something I noticed early on. And after like 2 of them said it to me, I was like, are you serious? Like JavaScript's not your language? You would never know.
Yep, exactly. And the only reason why you're able to do that is because you understand, you just need one language to really teach you, these are the different concepts. And then it translates so easy amongst other languages, that just going and learning other languages really isn't the goal. It's to understand programming, and you can get that fully from one language. Okay, we've gone for an hour. Other questions, other thoughts? If folks want to stick around, we can do more stuff in the terminal. Otherwise, I open up for more questions. We can call it here.
Well, I thank y'all for everything, and I thank you for your patience too, because especially when you're in a new learning process and things might be frustrating, having a patient teacher is definitely a blessing. And LaTonya, your notes are amazing, so I appreciate both of you.
Ditto, ditto, ditto.
Agreed.
I was like, oh my God, we got notes this week. This is wonderful.
Setting the bar real high for TAs.
I thought I was behind. I felt bad. I was like, they don't even know I'm doing notes. Like I was like,
right, we never had them. So Nate, I couldn't think of your name. I was gonna call you something else. So Nate, I sent my my link to some of my friends that I texted to them, and my niece. Oh, let me say this real quick. Larry, my niece is taking something at Lemoyne that's Python. Whatever she's taking at Lemoyne is very heavy with Python. So I don't know if you wanted to look into that. But I sent my link to 2 of my friends, and they tapped on it and they were able to see. So, and they were all excited. So then, I was excited once I saw my name come across the thing. So yeah, I'm definitely very appreciative. Like this week has been what we could even say life-changing. You know what I'm saying? Like we have domains, like we're live. So yeah, that was exciting. I definitely enjoyed this week.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
I think it's funny that you have on the GitLab t-shirt. The other day you had on like a Microsoft t-shirt. So I have to look into some of those. Did you get that free from your wife?
Yeah. I said this is going to be real mixed messages. We've been working with GitLab all week. I'm going to show up wearing a GitLab t-shirt. But I've really enjoyed having all of you. If there's nothing else, then we can just call it early and everybody can have
I
a Saturday
just say, I think you all are amazing, and I won't see you probably for, I don't know, months. I think I'm back. I'm on the schedule again. I think I'm with Nate, but I'm not sure. But I look forward to seeing you all. You're doing really, really great. Please try to enjoy what you're doing. You should love this. The better you get at it, you're going to look forward to it. You're going to crave it. So just, enjoy your journey. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nate, you're not
LaTonya, I'm
be
going to
able
reach out
escape
to.
me yet.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for letting me be here.
Yep, you're welcome.
Did you hear me, Nate?
Yep, I'm sticking around for you.
Okay, thank you.
What you got?
I just wanted to make sure that like everything was just moving smoothly, just because I missed a bunch. And I know I got the one part installed, and I know I got my website moving, but I just wanted to make sure that everything was like okay. Like just a little quick overview of mine, really quick. Let me see. I think it's right here. Can you see this or no?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, DevOps and cheap. Let's see. I'm just trying to find it really quick. I'm just gonna go to my GitHub and make sure.
You sharing your screen?
Am I? Am I not?
You're not. Nope.
Okay. Just for like five more minutes.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Where are you trying to get to? Your
My GitHub.
domain?
My GitHub.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. So see where it says your site is published? If you go back
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So I think what I'm trying to ask is was there any other steps that I might have missed? So I have my my domain published and ready to go. I downloaded the Brew in the terminal, and I
Mhm.
have the command shell, and I feel like there was more.
No,
No, nothing.
sorry to
I'm not
disappoint
as
you.
behind as I thought I was.
No, you're not behind at all. If you go press back like 3 times in the browser. 1, 2, stop. Okay, go forward 1. Sorry, it was only 2.
Okay, it's fine.
Click on that. Your site is published at. Yep. If you have this, I'm happy. So all I really want is this to be up, and I also want you to feel comfortable using GitHub Desktop. So if you want to show me that you are all caught up, make a commit with GitHub Desktop. Show me that you can push up to your portfolio.
I think, yeah, that's the one that might not be. Let me just open it up. I feel like I get it, but I definitely got to make some more changes to my portfolio.
So always start by opening up GitHub Desktop, and then either you'll have this page because you don't have any changes, or you can go up to the toolbar and click repository and click open in VS Code. So yeah, either one of those two will work.
Yes.
Yep. Go to your index.html and just make some small change, whatever you want.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Can't use capitals, right?
Mommy, I need to put your shoes on.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay, save.
Command.
And then let's go back to GitHub Desktop.
And here.
Yep, so click on it. There we go. Yep, make a commit. Okay.
And commit to main.
All right. Now up at the top right, click that pool. Yep, exactly. And
see,
then
I
click it again. Authentication failed. Some common reasons include. Okay, hit open preferences. Yeah. Hit cancel. Go back to.
Try to push it again.
Yep. Open preferences, and then sign out. Click sign out. Yep. And then sign back in. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now try pushing.
Still that little thing.
Oh yeah, because you're trying to hide your email.
Oh, how do I unhide my email?
Try pushing origin again. So click that button. Cool. Ignore for now. If it becomes a problem, just let me know and we can fix it, or just let Max know and we can fix that. But as long as you can commit and push, you're all set. So yeah, and recall, I don't know if you missed this in class, but recall when you commit and push, it's not instantaneous. It takes GitHub a second or two to churn and build and deploy your code.
Okay.
So it might take a second or two for it to show up, but as long as you know how to commit, as long as your domain and your portfolio is all set up, you're good to go.
Okay, I just have one last question. So anytime I go to my code and I put in, so like say I update my code, where is my VS code right here? In here, I just naturally have to push it in order to see changes on my website.
Exactly. You can open your code. Remember, you can open and look at your code on your computer. You can view your website on your computer, but to see it up on your domain, you have to commit and push.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
You have a good rest of your day.
Yep, you too. See you later, Nicole.
Bye. Thank you.